I remember the night she came back. Not in the way you'd expect, not like some sudden apparition flickering in the corner of your eye. No, this was slower, patient. It started with the sound, a whisper at first, soft, almost pleading, curling around the edges of the quiet night like smoke seeping through a crack in the door. I was sitting on the worn couch in my apartment, late at night, the city outside humming like it was alive, oblivious to what was about to unfold. At first, I thought it was the wind, old pipes groaning, anything mundane. But then I heard it again. Her voice, distorted, just barely audible. Why? Why did you leave me? I froze, my hand tightening around the coffee mug, the ceramic rattling against the worn tabletop. That voice, it was mine. Or maybe it was hers. I hadn't realized how much guilt could manifest as sound until that moment. Sophia, my sister, gone 10 years, dead. Or at least, I had convinced myself of that. She had been my twin, identical in every way. Everyone said we could finish each other's sentences, that our bond was unbreakable. But that night, the night it happened, I broke that bond. I was 17, she was 16, and we had been sneaking into the abandoned fairgrounds on the edge of town. Just some dumb teenage dare. Just one thrill too far. And then she slipped. Fell. Hard. And I didn't run to her. I froze. I panicked. I ran. I told no one what had really happened. I blamed the accident. But the truth? It wasn't an accident. Not entirely. The whisper came again, closer this time, threading through the dark corners of my apartment. Why? It wasn't just a sound, it was a presence, something that made the air heavier, like gravity itself had decided to weigh down on my chest. My eyes darted to the window. Nothing. Just the familiar skyline, distant lights flickering like watchful eyes. I tried to move, tried to shake it off, but my body wouldn't respond. And then I saw her, standing at the edge of the room, pale, almost translucent in the dim light. Her hair hung in wet strands across her face, but it was the eyes that stopped me. Hollow, endless black pits. Yet somehow she was smiling. That smile, that unnatural, too wide smile that didn't belong to my sister. Sophia? I whispered, though the sound felt wrong in my own mouth. She tilted her head, like she didn't recognize the word at all, or like it meant something else entirely. And then she spoke, not in the tone I remembered, not the warm voice of the sister I once knew. This voice was jagged, broken, soaked in anger and something far worse. You left me. The air went cold. Not just cold, but biting. My breath came out in puffs that hung in the room like ghosts themselves. I wanted to scream, but no sound came. She glided closer, the floorboards cracking beneath her feet, though I couldn't see her shoes. Her dress, torn and dirty, smelled faintly of decay, yet smelled strangely familiar, like the summer nights we used to sneak through the cornfields, chasing fireflies. She said, I waited. I waited for you to come back for me, and you didn't. The walls seemed to pulse with her words. I realized then that this wasn't just a haunting. This wasn't some random poltergeist. This was personal, and it knew everything. Every lie I'd told, every sleepless night spent wondering if someone would find out, every single moment I'd tried to bury it in shame. She knew. I stumbled backward, crashing into the couch, my heart hammering so hard it felt like it would break through my chest. And then I saw something I'll never unsee. On the coffee table, etched into the wood, as if burned by some invisible flame, were the words, "Next time, I'll make sure you stay." The lights flickered, went out, and when they came back, she was gone. Or so I thought. I haven't slept since that night. Every mirror, every reflective surface shows her. Not always fully. Sometimes it's just a shadow, a hand trailing along the edge of the glass, or eyes peering out from the darkness. And the whispers, they never stop. Always there, just at the edge of hearing. Sometimes they sound angry. Sometimes sad. Sometimes pleading. And I realized finally that this wasn't just about revenge. This wasn't just some random poltergeist. This was personal, and it knew everything. And I realized finally that this wasn't just about revenge. This wasn't just about guilt. It was me. I tried to leave, move, change apartments, cities, even states. It followed. Not always physically, but in my mind, in the way I see shadows flicker in the corner of my vision, in the way I hear her voice when I'm alone, whispering that same question that has now become my nightmare and my punishment. I've started keeping a journal, writing down everything, hoping that maybe, if I document it, I can understand it, control it, stop it. But the more I write, the more I see. The more I see, the less I want to write. Because sometimes I catch her, not in the mirrors, not in the shadows, but sitting in the corner of a room I'm about to enter, waiting, smiling, silent, patient. And I know this, with a certainty that chills me to my core. One day, she won't wait. It's strange how the mind begins to decay when you start questioning what's real. I used to think ghosts were just reflections of guilt, some psychological echo of the past. But after Sophia came back, I realized something worse. Guilt doesn't just live inside you, it learns how to live outside of you too. 3 nights after that first encounter, I woke to the sound of water dripping. It was faint at first, rhythmic, like a slow heartbeat. I stumbled out of bed, groggy, still half dreaming. The apartment was freezing again, that same unnatural chill that seemed to cling to me wherever I went. The sound was coming from the kitchen. I flicked on the light, but it buzzed and dimmed, refusing to fully illuminate the room. And then I saw it. A trail of wet footprints leading from the sink to the hallway. Bare feet, small, delicate, exactly her size. My stomach dropped. The tiles were slick beneath my feet, and as I bent down, I realized the water wasn't clear. It was dark, reddish, thick. Blood. The footprints ended right at the hallway wall. Just ended. No door, no window, just solid drywall. I pressed my hand against it, half expecting it to crumble or open, but it didn't. The moment I touched it, though, I felt something cold on the other side press back. That's when I heard it. The whisper again, closer, right behind the wall. You still don't remember, do you? My pulse spiked. I backed away, tripping over the corner of the rug, nearly falling. The light flickered, and when it came back, there was writing on the wall. Faint, like it had been scrawled with dirty hands. She didn't fall. Those words ripped something open in me, because for 10 years, I'd buried that truth so deep I almost convinced myself of the lie. But she was right. She didn't fall. That night came rushing back like it had been waiting behind a locked door all this time. Sophia had found out something about me, something I never wanted anyone to know. I had stolen money from our mom's purse to impress someone, and Sophia caught me. She threatened to tell. We fought at the fairgrounds, screaming at each other over the noise of the broken rides creaking in the wind. She slipped toward the edge of the platform, reaching for me. and I didn't pull her up. I watched her fall, and I ran. I don't remember much after that, only her scream echoing through the empty fairground, then silence, and then my mother's face when they found her body 2 days later in the shallow creek. They said it was an accident. I let them believe it. I let myself believe it. But the thing that came back, that thing wearing her face, it wasn't here for truth. It was here for balance. The next morning, I decided to get out. I packed what little I had, stuffed everything into my car, and just drove. Hours blurred by in a haze of empty highways and old radio static. But it didn't matter where I went. The whispers followed. Sometimes from the back seat, sometimes from the vents. Once when I stopped for gas, I caught my reflection in the rearview mirror. And there she was, sitting behind me. Her hand reached forward, fingertips inches from my shoulder. I turned around. Nothing. Just an empty seat. But my shoulder burned where she would have touched me. The skin was red, almost blistered. That was when I knew I couldn't run anymore. I went back to where it happened. The fairgrounds were still there, abandoned, rusting away under a gray sky that felt too heavy, too low. The gate hung crooked, one chain barely holding it shut. I climbed over, boots crunching against dead leaves and glass. The air smelt like metal and old earth. Every step brought back memories I didn't want. The carousel horses stood frozen mid-gallop, paint peeling, their eyes dull and lifeless. And then I heard music, a single warped note, playing over and over. I followed it to the Ferris wheel. The sound was coming from an old broken speaker by the ticket booth. It shouldn't have worked, there was no power here, but the music played anyway. That's when I saw her again, standing under the wheel, head tilted slightly, staring up at the rusted metal above her. Her dress was torn in the exact same way I remembered the night she fell. Her bare feet were bleeding, leaving small crimson half-moons in the dirt. She turned, slowly. And for a moment, I almost believed she wasn't angry anymore. Her expression softened, like she was just sad, like she wanted to be free. I didn't mean to, I whispered, my voice shaking. I was scared. She didn't blink, didn't move. Then, in one horrifying instant, her face twisted, eyes darkening, mouth stretching into that unnatural smile again. Her voice came out layered, wrong, like multiple people speaking at once. "You left me to die." The Ferris wheel groaned behind her, slowly beginning to turn on its own, metal screeching, rust raining down like ash. Each rotation made the air colder, thicker. I could barely breathe. She stepped closer, and the ground beneath her feet darkened, spreading outward. Water? Or blood? Or both? "You remember now. Now it's your turn." I turned to run, but my legs refused to move. The ground had turned to mud, sucking me in, holding me there. The carousel lights began to flicker, each bulb flaring and dying one by one until only darkness remained. And then, silence. I don't know what happened after that. I woke up in my car the next morning, parked miles away from the fairground. My hands were shaking, my clothes soaked. In my lap was a photo. It was old, faded, water-damaged. Sophia and I, taken the summer before she died. Only in this photo, she wasn't smiling. Her eyes were blacked out. Scrawled across the back in smeared ink were 5 words. "You don't get to forget." I thought maybe that was it. Maybe it was over. But it wasn't. That was just the beginning. Now every night, the fairground plays again. Not outside, not somewhere I can go to escape it. It plays inside my apartment. I hear the carousel creak. I smell the rust and the blood and the earth. And sometimes, when I wake up, there's mud under my fingernails. And every mirror in my home shows the same reflection. Sophia, standing behind me, waiting. The last time I saw her, she whispered something new. Something that made everything finally make sense. She said, "You didn't just leave me. You became me." And now, when I speak, sometimes my voice sounds like hers. When I look in the mirror, sometimes it's her face staring back. And when I sleep, when I dream, I'm the one falling, over and over, back into that cold, dark water. And she's the one watching me, smiling. It's been 6 weeks since that night at the fairground. 6 weeks since the whispers became something louder, something alive. I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending that this world is still mine, because lately, I'm starting to think it isn't. Sleep doesn't come anymore. When I close my eyes, I see the Ferris wheel turning endlessly against a black sky. Sometimes there's someone sitting in the top cart. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's her. The dreams feel too real, the kind that leave dirt under your nails when you wake up. I've started hearing things in the daylight, too. The faint creak of metal, the splash of water dripping onto the floor, even though the sink is dry. A few days ago, I went to see a therapist. Her office was small, warmly lit, everything soft and calm. She smiled the way people do when they're trained to make you feel safe. I told her about Sophia, about the whispers, the dreams, the things I'd seen. She listened, nodding, writing things down. And when I was done, she asked me something that sent a chill through my bones. She said, "Are you sure you're the one who survived that night?" I didn't understand at first. I told her I remembered running, calling for help, seeing the searchlights the next day. I remember standing beside my mother at the funeral, seeing the casket lowered. I remembered everything. But when I tried to recall the little details, who spoke to me first, who touched my shoulder, who even saw me at the fairground that night, it all started to fade, like my memories weren't mine at all. That night, I dug through old newspapers, the kind you can only find buried deep online, scanned from microfilm. And that's when I saw it, the headline from 10 years ago. Teen found dead in fairground fall, twin sister in shock. I froze. The name under the photo wasn't Sophia's, it was mine. Everything inside me went still. My throat closed, my hands started trembling, and the room around me began to twist just slightly. The corners bent inward, the air shimmered, and for a moment I swore I could hear a carousel in the distance. I read the article again, line by line. 17-year-old Lucas died after falling from a platform near the Ferris wheel. His twin sister Sophia told authorities it was an accident. It didn't make sense. I remembered leaving her there. I remembered being alive. I remembered guilt. But maybe that's all I was ever meant to remember. Maybe the guilt wasn't punishment. Maybe it was the chain holding me here. The moment I realized that, the lights flickered. My reflection in the dark window changed. It wasn't me anymore. It was her, Sophia, standing behind me. Her eyes weren't hollow now. They were calm, sad, almost. She whispered, "You took my place." And I saw it. The night she fell, no, I fell. She tried to save me, and I let go. Maybe I slipped. Maybe I wanted to. I'll never know. But in that moment, as I hit the ground, something in me refused to let go. I clung to her warmth, to her life. And I never stopped. The world around me began to collapse. The walls of my apartment rippled, peeling away like wet paper. Behind them, the fairground. The same carousel, the same Ferris wheel, creaking slowly against a black sky with no stars. The ground beneath me was soft, wet, cold. I looked down, the same muddy water where they found my body. Sophia was standing a few feet away. She wasn't the vengeful ghost anymore. She was me, alive, whole. Her face peaceful, the same face I'd seen in the mirror all my life. "Lucas," she said softly, "you never left." The air trembled, the music from the carousel grew louder, distorted, looping endlessly. I tried to step forward, but my feet sank deeper into the water. I screamed her name, begged her to help me, to pull me out. But she only shook her head. "This is where you've been all along. You just didn't want to believe it." The water reached my chest. My breath came in shallow bursts. The world dimmed, the sound of rushing water filling my ears. The last thing I saw before everything went black was Sophia walking away, toward the light breaking through the fog, her silhouette fading into something real, and me sinking into the dark. When I woke up, I was back in my apartment. At least it looked like my apartment, but something was off. The air was too still. The clock on the wall didn't move. The digital numbers on my phone blinked the same time, 3:33 a.m., over and over again. There were photos on the walls again, me and Sophia, but in every one, my face was slightly different, paler, faded. In some, I wasn't there at all. And that's when I heard it, a knock at the door, slow, rhythmic, 3 times. I didn't move. The knocking came again. And then, her voice. "Lucas, open up. It's me." It was Sophia's voice, clear, warm, real. I wanted to run, but I didn't, because deep down I already knew whatever was on the other side of that door wasn't my sister, not anymore. Maybe it was something else. Maybe it was me. The handle turned slowly, metal creaking. I whispered, "Don't come in." But the door opened anyway. The hallway outside wasn't there. No walls, no floor, no light. Just the fairground again. The Ferris wheel spinning slowly in the distance, music echoing through the dark. I felt something behind me, cold fingers wrapping around my wrist. I turned and saw me. My own face, pale and sunken, eyes black and endless. The reflection smiled. "Your turn," it said. And then everything went dark. I don't know how long it's been since then. Days, years. Time doesn't mean anything here. All I know is the carousel never stops, the water never dries, and sometimes, if you listen closely, you can still hear someone screaming for help. Sometimes I think it's Sophia, sometimes I think it's me. But lately, I'm starting to believe there's no difference anymore. Because the truth is, Some horror stories don't live in haunted houses or old graveyards. They live inside the guilt we never confess. And they don't end when we die. They just begin again.